Hey there, everybody. This is Austin at the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. Um, Now, forewarning, I'm going to remake a few of my videos. Now that I'm better at making videos and I'm a little better at talking about some of this stuff, I'd like to go back and, remedy a few issues I've seen. I've even gotten a microphone that actually works now, so in my first videos, there was a lot of weird popping and odd noises and stuff, so, I just want to say that this is like a part two or a remake of a video I had originally made. I'm going to call this video, What is Cloisonné? That was my first video, Cloisonné for Beginners, and, I was a beginner, so I don't feel bad about that at all, and I'm going to leave it up so you can see that I've progressed as an individual and a art appreciator and stuff. But let's talk about Cloisonné like we haven't experienced this at all. Okay. So, cloisonné, by definition, is, what? Is this how you're going to start? Okay. Cloisonné, by definition, just means partitioned. Okay? So, cloisons are called partitions, or cells. So, now, a cloison, you see how this wire is separating these flower petals. Those are cloisons. And what that is a flattened wire laid edgeways on a metal base. I really wish my camera would do the thing here. There we go. That's perfect and beautiful. Good work, camera. So yeah, they would lay the wire that was flattened edgeways. Now imagine that in the olden days, because antique cloisonné, what they would have had to do is take wire and hand beat it down to get a thin piece of wire. So, I mean, imagine how time consuming this would be anyway. So then add hand making your wire on top of that, and it gets pretty serious. So, what they fill their partitions with is called enamel. Typically. It can be filled with other stuff. It can be filled with glass or gemstones. And that makes a variety of different things that you would maybe consider cloisonné, because it's just things that are separated by wire traditionally. And then you've got different arts like champlevé and plique-à-jour, which are similar but not quite the same. And I've got videos on those too if you're interested. But yeah, enamel is different sorts of crushed minerals, and maybe even some glass. And they put it onto this in the partitions as a paste, and then they fire it, and they would have to sand this down because it would be left kind of gloppy on the surface here. But when they sand it down, it brings it back to the picture they had originally drawn in the wire. And yeah, isn't that pretty neat? This is actually a pretty neat little piece, I think. Just made in China. So we're looking at a couple of Chinese pieces and a couple of Japanese pieces today. I just wanted to select ones that you could visibly see wire on. Now, this black is actually interesting. It was made modernly. Not just because of the design, but the black enamel on a Chinese piece. Well, Japanese people invented the black enamel in the late 1800s, early 1900s. I think it was like 1890. Or 1893, something like that they invented black enamel. So you know that this piece came after that. Why are you being such a butt about it today? Good Lord. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to look at pieces where you could see the wires well. And this is another one. Now, sometimes you'll have brass wires, but you can have any type of wire. You can have gold wire, you can have silver wire, and I believe the next example I'll show you has silver wire. And obviously that's something to be aware of, if a precious metal is involved in the manufacture of your object, then that's something you'd like to know. I believe I even have one vase that is cloisoned with genuine gold wire. Gently. So inside this Inaba bowl, which is a Japanese cloisonné manufacturer, you'll see a bunch of little silver wires. I believe that'll be the actual precious metal silver. And it's pretty handsome inside. Um, I've seen Chinese and Japanese companies have background cloisons or diapers, kind of like stars, and I've seen a bunch with clouds and stuff. There's no real standard background cloison pattern. I mean, there's typicals. You'll see one on Chinese and one on Japanese more often, but they all kind of replicate each other's art and stuff. So I mean, there's no real just saying, this is always what it is. So yeah, I like the little. You can see these border cloisons up here. I just cleaned this thing. Come on now, making it look like I have a dozen cats. And you can see the wires really well in the glare. But yeah, isn't that a beautiful little bowl? I actually got this bowl, a Japanese Cloisonné bowl, signed. Well, stamped by the manufacturer or whatever we do. This little baseball signature here, that's an Inaba signature. Looks like a baseball. I ain't whistling. And I don't know, this might be chromed steel or even silver-plated brass. I'm not really sure exactly what the material of the bowl is. So then we've got this, which this is a very impressive display of wiring, and I think that's why it's important for us to look at it. Look at my big old thumb next to these tiny little wired cloisons. And then look at how much of the plate is done in that. So yeah, in this one specifically, we can see just tons of wiring. So yeah, they would have filled that background in with black enamel after they laid down and soldered or glued all of these background cloisons. And can you imagine how long that would have taken? I mean, I don't even know. Whew! That is so much more patience and devotion than I have for anything. I mean, I really just can't. I couldn't have done that. I would have thrown 84 fits at this stage. So yeah, this is Austin, Best I Can Afford Antiques channel, telling you what Cloisonné is, letting you see some examples here. So yeah, I hope you learn something from my videos. Even if it's just how to, thrift or pick this stuff, if you see something like this at a thrift store, I mean, if you got that piece for $2, you would probably make, I don't know, probably something like 200 times your money, something like that. I knocked the frame over. It's a bit of a weird back for a plate. It's also a signed piece. I've got a video on this piece if you want to know who that is or anything. But yeah, this is Austin, Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. Always trying to get better, always trying to learn more, always trying to teach you more. So hopefully we're happening on that, and I love you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do anything you want. As long as it doesn't hurt nobody, I'm into it.